Not gonna lie, it's time to go to sleep, and I'm running on fumes. So we're gonna make this a short one. Now today, I had woken up at around 8:30, greeted by my mom and our family friend to a breakfast of cream and wheat at the kitchen table. It was very good. Exactly what you expect. Very creamy, very wheaty. Moving along, my mom wanted help moving two large drawers into her room because she wanted to use a special drawer that was in her room for a project, but she needed that drawer out and older drawers put back in order to make it work. So I assisted with lifting these really heavy wooden drawers back into her room. She actually took them out earlier, and I talked about this in a previous video, but then she decided to put them back in, so that's exactly what we did. Then after that, we drove. Well, actually, no, we didn't drive yet. I was working on my journal. I was writing down things that I was grateful for doing and things that I believe I need improvement on. And I was using the help of Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which I recently subscribed to help organize my thoughts and to really analyze how I think to get to the bottom of what's working and what isn't working, about how I'm spending my time. And the ultimate summation of what I've learned is that you need to make mornings where everyone's asleep a priority for yourself if you want to work on personal projects, because that is the only time you will have where you'll actually get time completely to yourself. Because my mom needs my help all the time with different projects she's working on, and it creates sort of a disruptive and uneasy environment for me because I want to put all of my energy and focus into a project, but then I know in the back of my mind that my mom's going to call me for help on certain things, so I have to drop what I'm doing and go help no matter what during any project or situation I'm working on. And so I find I work best when, my mom or my mom's friend are doing their own thing, and I can dedicate more of my private time to working on these projects. Not that I've been doing that at all I did do that recently yesterday in the morning, but just long term in terms of like consistency, I haven't been doing it consistently. I've been goofing off on YouTube or gaming, which, is great when you're in your late teens, early 20s, and you seemingly have all the time in the world to goof off and have fun. But when you get older, you need to start paying those bills. And if you don't find a way to improve yourself skill-wise so you can obtain the skills to pay the bills, you're ultimately only hurting yourself in the long run. Now, of course, I can still have stuff like YouTube and gaming a part of my life. It's not like I'm going to completely gut that out because I genuinely love those things. But if it's something that's holding me back, then I need to stand back and reassess what's working and what's not working in my daily life, how I choose to spend my time. Hope that made sense. Got off on a tangent there. Anyways, after around 10 o'clock, I realized that my face was very scruffy looking, so I decided to shave it, and that took a little bit of a while, and also comb my hair. I got a little too into it, and this caused me and my mom to be late for church today. When we got there, I gotta be honest, I didn't really spend much time listening to the sermon. I spent most of my time writing in my journal my thoughts about what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day. And again, this is something I should have done early in the morning, so I could have dedicated more of my energy to listening to the sermon. But because I didn't dedicate personal development time in the morning, I ended up sacrificing sermon time. I had this urge in me to understand what my plan going forward for the rest of the day was, and it sadly wasn't fully developed yet, and I just wanted to continue developing it. So yeah, that wasn't great, because when we were done with the sermon and me and my mom got in our car to go to Home Depot to pick up some trash liners for our recycling aluminum cans and plastic bottles at the house. She asked me what I learned, and I said I genuinely am struggling to remember anything because my mind simply wasn't there. So big oops on me. But we did go to a delicious Peruvian restaurant. It was very good. I got fish, fries, and rice and tomatoes seasoned in a manner of different spices and herbs and cooked to perfection. And it was a very exotic tasting dish. The fish was fried, chopped up, and spread across this plate of Peruvian style fries and steamed tomatoes, and chef's kiss. It was so good. Now, during this whole little lunch excursion, which I spent with my mom and our family friend, who suggested the restaurant, by the way, my mom noticed that my mustache was looking a little off, and she wanted me to shave it off. See, and then my mom's friend compared me unfavorably to two historical figures. We'll just put it that way, trying to not get flagged by YouTube. But ultimately, it was something to do with the 1940s. We'll just put it that way. Anywho, moving on. I wasn't able to finish the food because I had an entree that my family friend was sharing with me and my mom and her, which was Peruvian fried chicken in lemon sauce, which was very good. And so I was only able to finish half of my Peruvian fish dish. So I had it put in a little box to be saved for dinner tonight. Then me and my mom went over to the Home Depot. And at the Home Depot, we were going to pick up those trash liners, but my mom wanted to explore other things at the store. She wanted to explore other trash bins, and I decided to tell her that we already do have trash bins at the house. We don't need to get any more trash bins. Plus, they were very expensive. The trash bins they were selling there were like $33 to $44. And there's no need to spend that kind of money when you already have bins at home. So we went over and we checked for some plugins. There were these plugins that had a shock protector. It was, you know, those where you plug into the wall outlet and you have multiple outlets available to you, plus 2 USB chargers straight from the outlet. It seemed like a good deal, so my mom grabbed it and was ready to buy it. Now, when we arrived at this color section, I realized I did not have my phone in my pocket, and I felt that, you know, having your phone is important in a public. I asked my mom if I could have her keys to check to see if my phone was in the car, and lo and behold it was, so luckily grabbed it. That's definitely not going to happen again. Then afterwards, we decided to go pick up some trash liners. My mom wanted me to pay for them, seeing as the whole recycling thing is my thing. And of course I agreed. And then we looked at some of those little hooks you stick inside of walls, and you use that to hang things up on walls. And yeah, we didn't really find anything very satisfactory. Then we were at checkout. At this point, I was ready to go and get this whole thing done. I wanted to just get rid of this whole recycling shabacle because I knew it was going to take a while and I just wanted to knock it out. But my mom was buying the things she got. The thing was the outlet that she got. It said $9 at the area where we grabbed it, but in the machine, when she scanned it in self-checkout, it was $20, which that's not what it said. She asked me to come in to give a second opinion, and I was in this mindset of I'm ready to go, don't want to hang around here anymore. So when she said it was $9, but the machine says it was $20, I said, well, I guess it must have been $20 then. And my mom took great offense to this because she believed it was important for me to stand up for her and take her and the representative we were talking to the outlets so that we could double check the price. But because I was in a hurry, I wanted to go back home, and I just blindly accepted that, yeah, that's probably the price, $20. Maybe they plug-in was simply just put in the wrong hold area. Maybe someone was gonna buy it, but then they put it back, and then they just so happened to put it in the $9 bracket instead of where it was supposed to be in the first place, leading to a lot of confusion. Well, and since I wanted it out, I just was like, yep, it's probably $20. Well, my mom was very angry about this. She felt like I didn't stick up for her and that I was being very selfish and mean. Like I was basically not like supporting her decision to buy this outlet, and that I was simply just interested in getting home and getting this whole thing over with. And yeah, she made that very well known to me. Looking back at it now, I really should have gotten out of my eager mind haze, because that's what it was, a mind haze. And I really should have told the representatives, yeah, it was $9. Let's go check it out. But I didn't do that. Instead, I proved to be very selfish and looking out for my own personal interests when it came to simply just getting the trash liners and filling them up with the recyclables so I could take them in to cash them in. And ultimately, that's a me thing. That's not a family thing. Although my mom does want me to take the recycling out because it will leave room open to the back of the house for us to use our storage. So really, it is a us thing. So it is something that's important to get done. It just so happens I financially benefit from recycling the cans and bottles. And it's something I've been doing since I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11 when I found out you could do that. But yeah, it was a pretty rough situation. And now looking back at it, I realized that it could have gone a lot better than it did. I was definitely very out of touch with the situation. I wasn't really thinking about how it affected her. I was just thinking about wanting to get out of there. And that was very wrong of me, and I'm very sorry. Well, anyways, after being told by my mom that she was very angry at me for not sticking up for her when it came to purchasing that wall outlet, when we arrived home, I got straight to the recycling. And throughout the whole experience, I did feel these overwhelming emotions of surprise, feeling like I misunderstood her, and that made me feel a bit very guilty, and a downer mood throughout the whole recycling ordeal. I tried to just push through and, do the thing, but it was a bit difficult to get the whole progress done because I was kind of overwhelmed with my emotions of not feeling like I did the right thing, and and definitely feeling very guilty about that. So I'm very sorry, truly. Mom came out and she believed that I didn't understand what I was doing. She believed that I was in a different mindset. When it comes to talking with my mom about recent issues, I don't really know what to say or how to approach the situation because it's such an unusual thing to come across because we normally get along really well. So I was just kind of really quiet and taking in what she was saying. And yeah, I basically agreed that, yeah, I definitely didn't realize what I did was wrong and I didn't understand. And when she heard that, she was able to forgive me, and we were able to move on from that. It was pretty rough at first, but afterwards, it was nice to feel some form of reconciliation. Well, anyways, I was able to get 2 big black bags filled. One was for aluminum, one was for plastic, and there's still at least 2 bags worth to fill again later. So I'm definitely going to get that done by tomorrow, but more than likely by Tuesday, since I go to work tomorrow from 11 to 8, and I'm not going to have time to take these recyclables to the recycling center tomorrow, but I definitely will on Tuesday since I have Tuesday off. After that, the Oscars were playing, and my whole family, we all gathered around, including the cats, which are also family, and we watched the Oscars tonight. And what made this a very special Oscars was the fact that they got someone to host that I am a huge fan of. I love his sense of humor. I think his comedy's very funny. Conan O'Brien. And the reason why is because he definitely doesn't take himself seriously when it comes to trying to make people laugh. He just kind of, goes off and does the funniest, craziest things, and you definitely get the sense he does it for the audience. And but he knows when to play it straight. He knows when to be serious, but he also knows when to make a joke and have fun. And that's always great to see. Like, I feel like a lot of the more recent Oscar hosts in recent memory, like Jimmy Kimmel and I forget the others, but definitely that guy. Like, I don't know why they kept on getting him, but he's like, that guy is the antithesis of funny. Like, he thinks that just saying like political humor all the time is hilarious. And I mean, I guess political humor can be funny, but if it's like the only thing you bring up and you make it more about politics than you do about the entertainment, then that's when things get funky. And I'm not opposed to it, politics and entertainment. In fact, I encourage it, obviously, because a lot of entertainment that's effective does have politics in it, obviously. But the thing is, you need to make sure it's organically incorporated into the story in a way where it feels like it still feeds into the message and themes of the plot and simply isn't just there to act as like a podium for people to rally behind just for the sake of a message that like feels ham-fisted, I guess. Like, you could have a message still, obviously, but if it feels ham-fisted and forced, people realize that and they don't like that. And they're going to definitely, make a note of it. But you can do it in a tasteful and subtle, or maybe not subtle, but still very thoughtful way that a lot of people won't feel cringy at, because they'll feel like the person's simply just sharing their point of view in a way that's true to them. And at the end of the day, what I look for in my entertainment is sincerity, is trust in the audience, and therefore the audience will trust you back. That's all I'm looking for. Well, anyways, after that long tangent, yeah, it was a good award show. A lot of fun moments. I like how it opened with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I love that song. Literally makes me cry every time I listen to it. I don't know why. I just think it's a beautiful song. What can I say? Beautifully performed by Ariana Grande. Hopefully I said that correctly. And there was a lot of good, silly moments from Conan, and I thought it was just really entertaining and a lot of fun, and I don't really know what else to say. I'm glad Flow won. I'm a huge animation fan, and seeing a movie made by an independent group of artists from another country, basically on free open source software, is a really inspiring story to behold. Flow is definitely one of those films that is really affirming to any independent artist out there who has always wanted to tell a story but doesn't know if they would get the support or the recognition. And that's not at the end of the day, I mean, recognition is good, but you shouldn't make stuff for recognition. You should always make it because you wanted to make it and you felt like you had a story to tell, So I'm not saying recognition is everything, obviously. I mean, it helps these guys get the more jobs. It helps them become more recognized by, studios or investors or whatever. But it's just a side effect of simply just telling a story you wanted to tell. That's all I'm saying. And it was awesome to see Flo win. And then, yeah, the other ones, I hadn't seen most, if not any of these other films. I haven't seen Anora. I have not seen The Brutalist. I have not seen, I don't know. The only ones I've seen were Wicked and The Substance. But Wicked was, to me, like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 at best. It was perfectly fine, did its job, but it didn't feel like it did anything more than that. And Substance is one of the best films I've ever seen that I'm also never going to see again because of how gruesome and freaky it gets, especially near the end. But for the one time I watched it, it's definitely going to stick with me for the rest of my life. I guess I'm going to have to watch that movie about the lady who gets with the Russian mafia now. I'm forgetting the name right now, but that one. Yeah, and I guess The Brutalist as well. Anura, I think is what it was called. Anora? Yeah, I think so. Anora. I guess that's all I have to say. I mean, I don't really have that strong of opinions about most of the wins. I mean, I'm glad Substance won Makeup because that was definitely earned. But fine show. Not much to really say other than that. Moving on, I decided to watch some updates on things such as politics, financial based politics on my phone, at the kitchen table. Boring stuff, I don't really know if I should even say anything about it. I don't want to bore you. And then I decided to record this. And I'm probably going to take my vitamins, brush my teeth. I want to say go to sleep, but I also want to say that I want to work on my schedule for tomorrow too. So we'll probably do a quick schedule work, and afterwards I'm going to get ready and go to bed. So yeah, that was pretty much my day. Thanks for listening, and anyone watching this, have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, everybody.